Now, during the Q&A session of Nintendo's latest financial results briefing, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa said that many buyers picked up Link's Awakening alongside the Nintendo Switch Lite, which none of us bought, but sales of Link's Awakening have been extremely high from us core gamers. That makes you a core gamer, Nick?
So be it. Okay, I'm a core gamer. So yeah, I've finished Link's Awakening this week. I would like to apologise to Mr. Furukawa for being a little bit harsh last week about Link's Awakening when I trashed the frame rate. Deservedly so, to be fair, because it is terrible. But Link's Awakening is the game that finally got me to play my Switch in handheld mode, so I guess I owe it something. Because I discovered about 5 hours into the game that if you play in handheld mode, the frame rate issue is a lot better than if you play on the TV. I don't know why. It is so weird, yeah. I guess maybe because of the graphical hit or the fact that it's running at 720p just makes the memory, because it's a memory issue, apparently, a memory streaming issue, so that's why it might not get fixed. But yeah, done. Very pleased that I picked this up, even though it was a bit pricey. I paid full price for it. And I bought it on a bit of a whim. But no, it's been nice to revisit the classic Zelda. I think the last time I played this game, I had it on the Game Boy original, not the DX version. And I think I finished it 2 or 3 times in the mid to late 90s. So it's been a very long time since I've played it. And yeah, it was nice to go back to. It is a product of its time in some ways. There was a couple of instances where the game was very, very obtuse, and I think it was after the second or third dungeon. I think after the third dungeon, and I had to go to the desert, and I looked all over the map, well, the bit of the map that I could access, which is about half of it, maybe just over half actually. I'd spoken to everyone 2 times, 3 times. I'd been to every square on the goddamn map, and I had no idea how to get to the desert. I had an item to trade, but nobody wanted it. And then I just cut a blade of grass and a set of stairs appeared out of nowhere.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. So that's the only thing that really, that was actually what stopped me playing, because I put it down for a couple of weeks, and it was that exact thing, not being able to progress, that made me put it down. And I guess that is just something that, is a thing of the past, isn't it? So, can't figure it out. Sorry, try harder. There was no fee in 1993 or Fi or whatever she's called. But no, after that I made good progression. It was quite easy, to be honest, for the most part. But once you get to the later stages of the game, the difficulty does ramp up quite nicely. The last 2 dungeons were the best for me, just because of the size of them, the length of them, and the challenge that they offered. So even to somebody like me who's played pretty much every mainline Zelda game, and I played this one, but I couldn't remember the last 2 dungeons that well. So going through them was tough. I was checking the map all the time. I was like, I've been there. Where's that? I've got 4 keys here, and there's no doors that I can unlock. Where's the door? What haven't I seen? What haven't I done? And it's just the way, these 2, especially the last 2 dungeons, they're so cleverly and intricately designed. It is a special game in that way. And going through it again made me realise, this is the thing that was missing from Breath of the Wild. This dungeon play that Zelda's famous for. What were they called? The Guardians.
Shrines. The shrines? Or the Guardians themselves?
The shrines were okay. The shrines were okay for
rooms,
me. Yeah, but the dungeons were disappointing, really disappointing. And I think this just shows that, I would be happy with them to continue the Breath of the Wild style and then keep the dungeon stuff to this 2D style. For me, that would work perfectly, because I had a lot of fun with this game. The graphics are beautiful, actually. And there's a couple of moments in the game when you climb up to the Windfish's egg, and when you're in the castle, and the look that they were going for, this kind of like stop motion animation, kind of Wallace and Gromit style, it just looks exactly like that, like some sort of thing from the 90s or the early 2000s, exactly what they were going for. And the soundtrack's fantastic, hearing those tunes remixed. Some of them even have the little beep beeps from the Game Boy, which is a lovely touch.
Nice.
But really good. I've been listening to the soundtrack a little bit on YouTube, and it is a nice remix. So well done to Gretzo. Sorry about the frame rate, but it was a fun experience, and I'm glad I picked it up. And I've got 2 more hearts to get and 3 more seashells, so I will probably finish it right to the end and then try hero mode when I'm done.
I think this is a game that I would pick up when it becomes a player select for that kind of $15.99 range. I think then I'll dip in, because I've said before, I've played it on Game Boy many times. Not that I can remember. When you say the last 2 dungeons, I'm thinking, which ones are those? I can't remember, either, even though I've played it through maybe 5 times in the past. Greg, you've played this quite a bit. How have you been getting on with it?
Struggling to shake off the disappointment, actually.
You need to play those last 2 dungeons.
Yeah, it's not a bad game by any means, and like I'm closing in on the last 2 dungeons. I finished the 6th dungeon there earlier this evening, so I just need to find my way to dungeon 7, and I think I'm almost there. But like has been an issue with maybe a few times in the game. It's like Nick sort of alluded to it there. You sometimes you don't know where to go, and you're sort of like searching around, and like, I mean, that's fine. Like when I was younger, for example, like, and you've only got a couple of games to play, like you're happy enough to search around. You're getting, you're filling your time. You're having fun. But nowadays, you sort of feel like your time's being wasted if you spend too long not sure where to go. Like, and yeah, it's definitely been irritating in that way a couple of times. But apart from that, like, I'm not really enjoying it that much, and that's really disappointing, because I kind of half expected it to be like my game of the year, for example, and it's fallen so far short. But there's precedent, because like I don't really get on with A Link to the Past either.
Shocking.
It is shocking.
Yeah. So there's there's definitely something in the overhead Zeldas that doesn't always gel with me. Although A Link Between Worlds was fantastic, it's maybe one of the better ones, and even Phantom Hourglass in the DS, like I thought it was amazing at the time. Like, I think maybe part of that was just having all these new ways to play with, like the stylus, like drawing on the map, the novelty of that, and like drawing your line for your boomerang and all that sort of thing. But Link's Awakening does feel like an old game at times. I've been interested to see how I get on with the rest of it, but at the minute I'm kind of just at the place where I'll be happy just to get it done and just forget about it.
Such a shame. I will say before we finish though, I really hope Nintendo don't do this again I hope it's not going to become a trend where it's just like, okay, this game's not perfect, just stick it out anyway.
Stick it out there.
They should have fixed the frame rate. It's not acceptable, really. Especially in docked mode. It's beyond awful. So I don't know why this isn't Nintendo's style. I don't know why they've done this. They should have fixed it.
Yeah. Another thing I will say actually is it's always Zelda games that get the updated treatment. It's like I'd love some other franchises just to get like even like a Mario game. Like I'd love a like Galaxy 1 and 2 like collection or something. That obviously we've been wanting Metroid Prime Trilogy HD for a long time, but like there's loads of games I just love remade, like some of the F-Zero, Weavers, 10E, just anything. It's always Zelda, and I suppose that's their biggest money maker. But I'd just love to see something else for a change.
Yeah, I would as well, to be honest.
I can see Mario, especially the Galaxy 1 and 2 being remade. Just put an HD polish on it, and it's all done. Doesn't
Just
need
in time for
anything.
Galaxy 3.
By the way,
Yeah.
interesting thing about Galaxy 1 and 2, this NVIDIA Shield that released in China
Yes.
with the Switch hardware has Galaxy 1 and 2 running on it.
Yes.
Or
that's
maybe
right.
just one. Maybe
Just one. I
actually.
think it's one for
Yeah.
now. Yes. Yeah.
So it's done, basically.
Yeah.
It's done. Get it out.
Yeah. What are we waiting for? Mark, whoever this Nintendo employee is, forgot to press the button again. Come on, Mark, wake up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.